In the 1970s, breakfast wasn't just about cereal, it was about the treasure hidden inside the box. Kids would shake, pour, and dig through the flakes to find that tiny prize waiting to be discovered. Every surprise made mornings feel like an adventure. We're about to remember 25 of those toys. And trust me, the very last one on our list might make you wish cereal boxes still came with wonder inside. Number 1. Wacky wall walkers. In the late 1970s, few cereal box toys caused as much excitement as the wacky wall walkers. Those sticky, octopus-shaped figures clung to any smooth surface and slowly tumbled down the wall in wobbly, unpredictable patterns. Kids would race to see whose could reach the floor first, laughing as if they left faint marks behind. They'd lose their stickiness after a while, but a quick rinse in water brought them back to life. Modern toys might have screens and sounds, but no one ever matched the weird joy of watching one crawl down the wall. And after that bit of sticky fun, something mysterious soon slipped its way into breakfast time. Number 2. Secret decoder rings. Hidden in certain cereal boxes, the secret decoder ring made every kid feel like a real spy in the 1970s. With its spinning wheel of letters and numbers, it turned breakfast into a secret mission. Kids would whisper coded messages to friends, or use them to uncover clues printed on the cereal box itself. The plastic was cheap, but the feeling of having your own agent gear was priceless. You could spend hours cracking pretend codes, feeling clever with every twist. Sure, technology replaced such simple thrills, but few gadgets ever felt as personal as that little ring. But once the secrets were solved, something strange began to glow when the lights went out. Number 3. Glow-in-the-dark monsters. In the 1970s, these tiny plastic monsters turned every cereal box into a spooky surprise. Charged by sunlight, they came alive in the dark, glowing with a ghostly green hue that looked both eerie and fascinating. Kids would line them up on their nightstands or sneak them under blankets to watch them shimmer after bedtime. They weren't detailed or fancy, but their mysterious glow gave them an unforgettable charm. Some even collected whole sets, swapping duplicates like rare treasures. While nightlights handle the glow today, nothing quite matched these little creatures' midnight magic. Once the lights dimmed, the next bit of fun raced forward at full speed. Number 4. Snap-together race cars. In the 1970s, few things made breakfast more exciting than finding a mini race car buried in the cereal. These came in little pieces you could snap together. Wheels, chassis, and all. Kids would build them right at the table, then send them zooming across the kitchen floor before finishing their cereal. The tiny cars often broke or lost a wheel, but that didn't matter. The fun was in building and racing. It was creativity and speed packed into a single prize. Modern toys might be flashier, yet they rarely sparked that same burst of imagination. And after those races ended, something far older was waiting to be unearthed. Number 5. Plastic dinosaurs. In the 1970s, digging into a cereal box and pulling out a tiny dinosaur felt like uncovering ancient treasure. These little figures came in every color imaginable: green T-Rexes, orange Brontosaurus, blue Triceratops, and each one sparked endless stories of prehistoric battles and discoveries. Kids lined them up on windowsills or buried them in backyard dirt for excavations. They weren't realistic, but they didn't need to be. Imagination filled in the rest. Many kids proudly kept entire herds tucked in pencil boxes or pockets. Today's toys might roar or move, but these stood still and captured hearts anyway. But after that prehistoric adventure, something surprisingly stretchy stole the spotlight. Number 6. Super elastic bubble plastic packets. In the 1970s, every kid who found one of these in their cereal box knew they were in for a messy kind of fun. The small packet held a tube of colorful goo and a thin plastic straw. With one squeeze and a puff of air, that goo turned into shimmering bubbles that floated like magic, stronger than soap bubbles, and just strange enough to amaze everyone watching. The smell was unforgettable, and so were the rainbow reflections on each bubble before it finally popped. Parents might have hated the sticky fingers, but kids loved every second. And once the bubbles cleared, a flying disc of fun was about to take off. Number 7. Mini Frisbees. In the 1970s, tiny but mighty, these little frisbees could soar surprisingly far for something that came from a cereal box. Kids would flick them across the living room, trying to hit targets or see who could launch one the farthest. Some had brand logos or cartoon faces printed on top, turning every throw into a collectible moment. They'd sometimes disappear under couches or behind shelves, only to be found weeks later like hidden treasure. It was a simple thrill, a burst of motion that made breakfast feel like recess. Modern gadgets can't match that kind of uncomplicated fun, but after all that flying around, something soon started spinning fiercely on tabletops everywhere. Quick question, which of these cereal box toys do you remember finding first? Please share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear how many of you had similar breakfast surprises. Number 8. Battle Tops. In the 1970s, cereal box toys didn't get much more competitive than Battle Tops. With a quick twist of the fingers, kids sent the tiny spinners clashing against each other across the floor or kitchen table. The goal was simple: the last one spinning wins. Each top had its own color and pattern, and some even had nicknames based on their fighting style. The sound of them whirling and knocking together became its own kind of music. They might have been small, but they brought out big rivalries during breakfast. And once the spinning stopped, something from a galaxy far, far away made its grand appearance. Number 9. Star Wars stickers. When Star Wars hit theaters, cereal companies wasted no time turning breakfast into part of the adventure. Kids tore open boxes, hoping to find shiny stickers of Luke, Leia, Darth Vader, or the Millennium Falcon. Some stuck them on notebooks. Others covered their lunchboxes or bedroom doors until the whole room looked like outer space. The stickers peeled easily and sometimes left marks, but that didn't matter. They were badges of fandom. Each one made you feel like you owned a tiny piece of the galaxy itself. But when the stickers ran out, a new kind of artwork began sticking directly to skin. Number 10. Temporary tattoos. In the 1970s, finding a temporary tattoo in your cereal box felt like instant cool points. All you needed was a damp paper towel and a few seconds of patience before revealing your new masterpiece: a tiger, a rocket, or maybe a superhero. Kids proudly showed them off at school, comparing designs and daring each other to wear them longer than they lasted. Some faded by lunchtime, others survived the weekend, but everyone brought a spark of excitement to an ordinary morning. Those little transfers made kids feel like walking canvases, and once the ink wore off, something was soon drifting gently through the air with its own tiny parachute. Number 11. Plastic paratroopers. During the 1970s, few things matched the thrill of tossing a plastic paratrooper into the air and watching it float back down. These tiny soldiers came with thin plastic parachutes that always seemed to tangle, but when they worked, they were magic. Kids launched them off porches, staircases, or even rooftops, cheering as the little troopers drifted slowly to the ground. Sometimes the strings snapped, but that only meant fixing them for another mission. Each flight felt like a victory, even if it ended in a tree branch. They brought real adventure to breakfast tables everywhere, and after those airborne missions ended, a few familiar faces soon made their way into cereal boxes. Number 12. Cereal mascot figurines. Back in the 1970s, nothing beat finding your favorite cereal mascot staring back at you in miniature form. Whether it was Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam, or Lucky the Leprechaun, these small plastic figures turned breakfast mascots into pocket-sized celebrities. Kids would collect them all, lining them up on shelves or staging pretend commercials at home. Each one carried the charm of the cereal it came from, instantly recognizable and full of personality. Though simple in design, they made every bowl feel like part of a bigger, animated world. But once the mascots took their bow, something with a bit more splash was about to steal the spotlight. Number 13. Tiny water pistols. In the 1970s, you knew breakfast was about to get wild when a tiny water pistol tumbled out of the box. They were small, leaky, and barely held a few drops. But that didn't stop kids from starting full-on kitchen water battles. Filled from the sink and hidden in pockets, these little squirters turned morning routines into surprise ambushes. The stream rarely went far, yet the laughter carried across the whole house. Parents might have sighed at the wet counters, but for kids, it was pure victory. Simple mischief never felt so fun, and when the puddles finally dried, a bouncy burst of color was waiting just around the corner. If these memories made you smile, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us bring back more moments like these. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another nostalgic trip down memory lane. Number 14. Super Ball keychains. In the 1970s, a cereal box that hit a Super Ball keychain was a double win. A toy and an accessory all in one. The bright, rubbery ball popped off its tiny chain, ready to bounce sky high with just one throw. Kids tested how hard they could make it ricochet off walls or floors, sometimes sending it flying under furniture for days. The satisfying thwack of its bounce became the sound of pure joy. When it wasn't in play, it dangled proudly from backpacks and zippers like a badge of energy. And once the bouncing slowed, a quieter kind of challenge began to take shape. Number 15. Puzzle pieces in the 1970s. Some cereal boxes turned breakfast into a slow, exciting mystery. One piece at a time, each box came with a small cardboard puzzle piece, and collecting them all meant weeks of anticipation. Kids traded duplicates with friends, hoping to finally complete the colorful picture on the back of the box. The final piece always felt like winning a prize, even if the whole thing was just a simple cartoon scene. It taught patience in the most fun way possible, one breakfast at a time. Collecting felt like an adventure you could eat along the way. But once the picture was complete, something unexpected came spinning right back your way. Number 16. Mini boomerangs. In the 1970s, tiny plastic boomerangs turned kitchens and playgrounds into mini arenas of skill and chaos. Kids would flick them through the air, trying to master the perfect throw that made them loop back just right. Most ended up under couches or rooftops instead, but that was half the fun. The bright colors and lightweight feel made them irresistible to try again and again. It didn't matter how many failed tosses there were. That one perfect return made you feel like a champion. Simple, unpredictable, and endless fun. They defined spontaneous play. And once the air settled, something with a bit of depth was ready to catch your eye. Number 17. 3D lenticular cards. In the 1970s, before smartphones or holograms, there were 3D lenticular cards, tiny rectangles that came to life with just a tilt of the hand. 1 second, you'd see a rocket blasting off, and the next, a cartoon character waving hello. Kids were mesmerized by the uoma, flickering motion, showing them off under the light again and again. Some even collected full sets, tucking them safely into pencil boxes like prized possessions. The magic wasn't in technology, but in the simple thrill of movement trapped on plastic. And when those images stopped shifting, something more hands-on was waiting to be built, piece by piece. Number 18. Pop-out paper models. In the 1970s, every cereal box that came with pop-out paper models felt like a tiny art project waiting to happen. Kids would carefully punch out the cardboard shapes, cars, animals, or tiny houses, and fold along the dotted lines until something recognizable appeared. Glue wasn't always needed, but patience definitely was. The real joy came when the flimsy pieces finally stood upright, proudly displayed on kitchen tables like homemade trophies. They weren't built to last, yet they taught creativity in the most everyday setting possible. And once the paper creations were complete, something far lighter was about to float through the morning air. Number 19. Bubble blowers. In the 1970s, a small plastic wand and a tiny bottle of liquid were all it took to fill a room with laughter. Bubble blowers tucked inside cereal boxes turned ordinary mornings into floating wonderlands. Kids dipped, blew, and chased shimmering bubbles that caught the sunlight just right before popping in midair. The soap left sticky fingers and giggles everywhere, but nobody cared. It was too much fun to stop. The sight of dozens of bubbles drifting across the breakfast table felt like magic you could make yourself. And when the bubbles finally vanished, something more puzzling was ready to test steady hands and sharp focus. Number 20. Mini maze games. In the 1970s, these little plastic puzzles looked simple enough. A tiny silver ball trapped under clear plastic, waiting to be guided through a maze of twists and turns. But for kids at the breakfast table, they were a test of patience and precision. Some played quietly while eating. Others grew determined to beat the maze before finishing their cereal. The click of the ball against the plastic became a familiar morning soundtrack. They weren't loud or flashy, but they challenged your focus in the best way. And once that small victory was won, something noisier was ready to make its entrance. Number 21. Whistles and kazoo toys. In the 1970s, if parents dreaded one kind of cereal prize, it was the whistles and kazoos. Kids couldn't resist blowing into them the moment they found one, turning mornings into impromptu concerts that echoed through the house. The sound wasn't exactly music, but the joy behind it was real, loud, playful, and full of life. Some even tried to form bands, performing songs that made everyone laugh. They might have driven grown-ups crazy, yet no other toy captured childhood noise quite like these did. And once the echoes faded, something practical, yet just as fascinating, took its turn inside the box. Number 22. Tiny tool sets. In the 1970s, Finding a miniature tool set in a cereal box made every kid feel like a builder in training. The tiny plastic hammers, screwdrivers, and wrenches didn't actually fix anything, but that didn't stop the imagination from running wild. Kids pretended to repair toys, bikes, or even furniture, proudly carrying their gear in pockets, like pros on a mission. Each tool felt oddly important, a symbol of growing up while still playing pretend. Even if the pieces broke easily, they sparked creativity that lasted far longer than breakfast. And once the fixing was done, a little toy with a string of endless fun was ready to make its comeback. Number 23. Miniature yo-yos. In the 1970s, these pocket-sized yo-yos were simple, colorful, and endlessly entertaining. Kids tried to master tricks like walk the dog or around the world, though most just enjoyed watching them spin up and down the string. Sometimes the string tangled, sometimes the toy snapped back too hard, but that was part of the charm. The smooth rhythm of each spin could keep a kid busy long after breakfast was over. They didn't need batteries or screens, just timing, patience, and a bit of flair. And when the string stopped spinning, a playful disguise soon turned mornings into giggling chaos. Number 24. Fake mustaches. In the 1970s, it was impossible not to laugh when a fake mustache came tumbling out of the cereal box. Made from fuzzy felt or thin plastic with a tiny adhesive strip, it turned any kid into a pretend movie star, detective, or villain in seconds. Breakfast became a stage for silly impressions and dramatic voices, each one more ridiculous than the last. Some mustaches barely stuck, others left a mark, but everyone guaranteed a laugh. They were harmless fun, the kind that made mornings brighter. And after all that laughter, something a little more mysterious was waiting to surprise every curious kid. Number 25. Pocket trick toys. The cereal boxes of the 1970s saved some of their best surprises for last. The pocket trick toys. These clever little gadgets could vanish coins, fake a magic card flip, or pull off a disappearing act right in your palm. Kids became instant magicians, showing off their skills at school or during family breakfast. The tricks rarely fooled adults, but that didn't matter. The joy was in pretending to be amazing. Each illusion brought a spark of wonder to ordinary mornings, proving that magic didn't need lights or smoke, just imagination. And that's how even a simple bowl of cereal once came with a little bit of mystery and a whole lot of childhood magic. Which of these cereal box toys made you smile the most? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your favorite childhood find. If this trip through 1970s breakfast memories brought back that warm, happy feeling, give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend who'd remember too. And don't forget to hit subscribe. We've got plenty more nostalgic moments waiting to pour right back into your heart.